Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's another Thursday, and we are here for another session of Stronger and Better. What an exciting time to meet you one more time so we can have, candid conversation about subjects such as money, relationships, spiritual growth, health, and wellness. So we have a whole lot of things that we talk about on these sections, on these sessions. So please make sure as you're coming in that you're saying hello. Please share this with those around you or put their name in that chat so they can join us. And as always, please make sure that you go into our YouTube channel and hitting the subscribe button. It's important that you hit that subscribe button. I'm putting in the chat right now. I see people are coming in. Today we're talking about money, y'all. We're talking about 7 rules of money. Good morning. I see people coming in. They're saying good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, Miss Kimbo. Pleasure to see you on today, Miss Jacqueline. What's going on? Pleasure to see you on today. We got others who are coming in. Say hello to me. Let me know that you're here. I have my brother who's going to be with me today. My boy, uh, one of my close friends, best friends, Derwin Griffith is going to be with me today. So it's going to be all good. He's a troublemaker sometimes, but it's all good though. I love him though. But here we go. We got people coming in. Good morning, good morning, good morning to y'all. Good morning, good morning. I don't want to prolong this. I'm gonna go ahead and bring him on the show so we can get started. Uh here we go. What's up, man? What's going on?
Listen, man, I'm doing great, man. It's always a pleasure to be on this broadcast with you, where we could have these wealth conversations, man. So it's a pleasure. Thank you
Man,
for having
glad
me.
to have you here. Glad to have you here. Just while people are coming in, just share a little bit about yourself. Tell people what you do, who you are, where you're from, all that good stuff, man.
Okay, so those that don't know me, my name is Derwin Griffith, and I'm an insurance agent. I have my own agency in West Haven, Connecticut. And my goal is to actually just help educate as many individuals as possible to just build a better financial backing for themselves and their family, so this way that they could just better make just better informed decisions. So my goal is to try to help as many families just to have a plan in place, for their lives. We want to
Awesome.
have money. We want to have money for a lifetime, not lunchtime.
That's right. That's right. For a lifetime. And we want our money to flow from not only just this generation, from generation to
Hmm.
generation. We want to build a legacy for our kids and keep things moving. So let's jump right into the 7 rules of money. So we're talking about money, and I'm a big advocate of building wealth and making sure that we're building a lifelong, like he said, lifelong wealth, but not only lifelong wealth, but wealth that will be from generation to
Hmm.
generation for our kids to even benefit, and even rules or platforms that our kids can use for their future.
Yes.
We should be setting up things where our families will be able to last from generation to generation and to do it in the kingdom building way. And so I'm glad to have my
Yes.
brother on here talking about that today. How are we going to start this, Darren?
So I'll just get into it. I'll just basically just go over all my slides and just basically just delve into everything. And I am going to get the audience I am going to give them some homework to do because we
Okay.
have to hold each other accountable.
No
All
wrong with
right.
homework. No wrong with homework. I have a friend who's been encouraging me. They write down a list of 10 things that they have to accomplish every day.
Yeah. Hmm.
And
Yeah.
I'm changing the way I do things to make sure that I write a list of 10,
Hmm.
or more things I need to accomplish a day. So homework is good. That's how we
All
move
right.
forward. That's how we move forward. Let's go.
All right. Okay. So just like there's, rules for when you drive, just like when there's rules for when you play sports, rules for your place of employment,
Yeah.
there's also rules to acquire wealth. So the quicker that we incorporate this into our everyday lives, that's the more financially free that we'll become.
Yeah.
So just like how you mentioned, as far as just writing down goals, daily goals, yearly goals for yourself, if everyone on this presentation, if they could just take some time, just get a pad and a pen and just
Mm.
write goals on top of it. All right. And I'm going to delve into that a little bit deeper, but I just want you to write goals on a piece of paper and we're going to just jump into it. And I'll tell you a little bit about little more on how I want you to actually set it up. your goals are important because your goals are your lifeline. Your goals are your roadmap to wealth. Okay, so let's think of it as a GPS. Okay, if you get up every single day with no plan, it's like a hamster in a circle going round and round.
Yeah.
Okay, but if you actually, come up with a roadmap on what you need to and how to get there, it's going to be much easier. Just think of it as taking a trip. Okay, if you take a trip and you don't know where you're going, the first thing that you do, you get in the car, you put the GPS on, right? The
Yeah.
GPS is going to take you to your destination. So we need to have our internal GPS where it's going to help us and direct us on where we need to go. And the key here is when we actually write our goals down, we have to expect it. Okay, because here's the thing: when when you actually signed on to this presentation this morning, did you hope it worked or did you expect it to work?
Oh, it better work.
Okay, all right, exactly. Okay, last night you watched TV. When you turned on or the TV, use or your remote control, right? Your remote control. When you turn it on and when you turn the TV on, did you hope the TV turned on or you expected it?
Yeah, I expected the word though.
Okay, so same thing, the same concept. When you write these goals down, you have to expect it. Okay, you have to do your part, and then the Lord will do their part, His part. Okay, and just a little, and just a little backstory on how this thing works. Pastor and myself, I'll tell a little story on Pastor and I. We went to New York a few weeks ago, and on the train, we were discussing finance. We were talking about investing, and the people right beside us was having the same conversation. We didn't know them; they didn't
Sure
hear our
was.
right, right.
Yeah, sure was.
Exactly,
You're listening to us, and they came
exactly.
after, right?
Yeah, exactly what we was talking about. That's what they was talking about,
Yeah,
right? So we was like, wow. And then the people that got on and sat right in front of us, they was talking about the same conversation. I'm like, what is going on here?
yeah, yeah,
So what is that telling you? That once you engulf yourself in learning and getting your mind prepared for finances, you're a student and the teacher shows up,
yeah, yeah. That's
right?
true, and I think it's true too that once you put it in the atmosphere, and God, it's amazing how God is because we were sitting on that train, and the conversations that we had was confirmation for what we were talking about. It was
Exactly.
confirmation. It was crazy.
Listen, we could have sat on any other car. It's about another 10 cars on that train. We sat on that particular car, and the individuals that sat in front of us, beside us, had the same conversation. So listen, so it's real. It's real. I
It's
mean,
real. It's real.
you just got to expect it. So, Pastor, if you could do me a favor, please, could you please read Habakkuk 2 and 2, please?
All right. And while I'm pulling it back up, I think it's important that we throw faith in also, uh,
Yes.
Derwin, because I know we have expectations and but we live off of our faith, man. And
Hmm.
even though we don't see it now, but we have to expect it
Exactly.
in the future to come and to manifest, right?
Hmm.
Let me see. Habakkuk 2 and 2.
Yes.
And it says, Then the Lord replied, Write down the revelation and make it plain on tablets so that a herald may run with it.
Okay. Thank you. So, exactly what I'm asking you to do right now is write down your goals, and you're going to do everything after the presentation. Write your goals down, and you're going to go over the goals in the morning when you get up and at night before you go to sleep. Okay. And you're going to put it in present tense. I drive a BMW, Mercedes, whatever. I I have a new house. I
Mm.
have $1 million in the bank. Everything is going to be in present tense, and then you're going to put the year on when you want this to manifest for you. Okay. We have to get out of the mindset of chasing money. Okay. Got to chase this money. The more you chase money, the more it's going to run from you. Okay. So we have to get into the habit of letting money chase you.
Can I read that in the Message Bible? I just want to see
That's
what the
fine.
Message Bible said. And then it,
Okay.
it says, and then God answered, write this.
Mm-hmm.
Write what you see. Write it out in big block letters so that it can be read on the run. The vision message is a witness pointing to what's coming.
Exactly.
That's dope. Yeah.
So every single financial book, every financial concept is all taken from the Bible.
Yeah.
Nothing in the Bible is, I mean, everything that's in the Bible, they got that, everyone, like every author, that's where they got it from. They
Yeah.
just put it in practical terms. I mean, so we could, basically understand it better. But everything that we got, everything that's in these financial books it came from the Bible.
Absolutely. I agree. I agree. I totally agree.
So, rule number one is you want to plant your tree. You want to plant your tree and watch it grow. Someone right now is sitting in the shade because of a tree that someone planted, okay, or a tree that they planted. The key is you want to start, some people may think, oh, I don't have a lot of money. Start small and just watch it grow for you, because you start small and then you'll have a great ending. All right. I'll give you a story of when I first started. Um, I started about 20 years ago. I knew nothing about investing. I read Rich Dad Poor Dad. That was my first investment book I ever read.
Yeah. Please, if you have not read that book, that's a must read.
Yeah.
That's a must read.
Yeah. So that was the first book that I ever read. And it talked about investing in a real estate without actually owning real estate, and without actually changing or like fixing toilets. So I said, how do you own real estate when not actually being a landlord? I didn't understand it. So he mentioned a real estate investment trust, and I actually contacted a financial advisor. Back then I had to look in a phone book, got a financial advisor. He came out and he helped me, and that's the first time that I understood how dividends worked,
Hmm.
on getting dividends, or like quarterly dividends. So that's when I understood, hold on a second, the rich is playing by a different game. They're letting their money work for them. And
Yeah.
that's when, I just kept on just enhancing my knowledge, and I'm learning. But the key is you want to make money, you want to multiply it, and then you want to preserve it. Okay.
Absolutely.
Being rich is not how much you spend, it's how much you keep.
That's right. Absolutely.
Rule number two is stop digging. Okay. If you're in a hole, stop digging. Okay. We don't need to go into any additional debt than we're already in. Okay. So we have to learn when to cut our losses. All right. Warren Buffett, Warren Buffett, and he owned numerous stock, and due to COVID, the airline industry took a hit. So what did he do? He sold his stock and he invested in something else. So we need to learn how to cut our losses, and we could do so by actually coming up with a budget. Okay, I know in one of my last presentations I talked about the 50-30-20 rule, where
Yeah.
you do 50% into your needs, your 30% into your wants, and 20% into investing. Okay, or you can split it up in however you want, 60-30-10. But the key is to actually come up with a plan where it's going to help you get out of the hole that you're in, and stop digging.
Yeah, and I think we do this a lot, Derwin. Even with money, we don't realize how much money we waste
Mm-hmm.
in terms of, just minor things. Some things in terms of um, uh, lunches,
Yeah.
buying lunch out, going out to eat. Splurging on this, splurging on that. And that's creating holes.
Yes.
When we can bring our lunch to work.
I
You know,
Listen. I
we
bring
can,
my lunch to work every day.
and take that money and put it into another resource instead of us wasting it all the time. In terms
Mm-hmm.
of even what you're talking about with investments.
Mm-hmm. It was interesting. I was listening to Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart, he said whatever money that he makes, he takes half of it.
Yeah,
He puts that towards his taxes.
yeah,
Other half, he takes half of that. He invests that half, and
yeah,
he lives off of the rest.
yeah, 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 yeah,
So so it's all about it's just preserving that money. Basically, or preservation. Every single person that I study that's wealthy, every person that does that did well for themselves, they all say the same thing. They write their goals down, and they look at it in the morning and at night, and they spend way less than they make.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And us as we have to add us as kingdom believers
Yes,
that and I don't know if you're going to talk about this, but the book The Blessed Life.
yes, yes,
Um,
yes, yes. So
and
yeah, so I can actually touch on that for you because
all right, yeah, yeah,
I mean, I get excited because you gave me that book, and that book changed my life.
yeah,
So
yeah,
you actually you introduced that book to me, and it changed my life. And
yeah,
it's the concepts that's in the book that actually, about tithing and having faith.
yeah,
And I'm not going to give you everything in the book. I would definitely advise that you get the book yourself and read it,
yeah,
because it's a great read. Because once you get it and you apply the concepts, you're like, oh my goodness, why did I do this 20 years ago? Or,
right,
you know, why did it take me this long to actually believe that this is possible? You know,
right,
you know, and because when you gave me that, I was going through a hard time.
right,
Okay, as far as finances. So when you gave me that, I was like, oh my goodness.
right.
And then soon after that, my wife got a promotion.
Yep,
All right. So this thing is real. Okay. So The Blessed Life, that book is a must read. That's something that you definitely want to get into, and you also want to look at other books as well. But The Blessed Life, that's definitely number one on my best readers list that
yep.
I read.
Yeah, because I want to mention one piece of this that the way the book starts, it talks about how important the tithe
Mhm,
is, and especially when we're talking about financing, it talks about giving that 10% first before you spend any
mhm.
other time,
Yes.
because you want the rest of your money to be blessed according
Mhm.
to what you receive. And
Yes.
so, when we talk about budgeting, when we talk about finances, when we talk about just kingdom living, investing, you have to give that 10% back to the Lord first, so he can bless the rest, and that your harvest will grow.
Yes.
I want to see.
Mhm,
Yeah. So
mhm,
I think that's important also, when we're talking about the subject of
mhm.
seven roots, yeah. Especially when we talk about digging. It's
Absolutely.
easy to dig them holes, man. It's so easy to dig them holes.
Yeah, it's easy. It's
And it
easy. I
go it
mean,
go quick.
yeah, but
Next thing you
listen, it's
know,
just
you don't
discipline.
have no money in the bank, man. Like, what happened?
It's discipline. Discipline, and that's the thing, discipline. It's all about discipline. Discipline and consistency.
Right, 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 right.
So some may disagree with this, with rule number 3. The worst investment is to save cash.
Mm,
Okay. It doesn't keep up because it does not keep up with inflation. Okay. For every dollar that you have in the bank now, it's 98 cents in a year. What we need to do is we need to learn how to use cash to buy assets that give us passive income. Okay,
yes.
and we have stocks, we have real estate, or we have a cash value life insurance policy where you could actually become your own banker in the infinite banking system. And that's something else that I'm giving out to the forum right now. Look into the infinite banking system on how you become your own banker, and you're able to buy whatever luxuries that you like. Okay,
Can you
and
can you
then you could
explain
follow up with me.
can you explain that to people, the infinite banking system?
Infinite banking system is becoming your own banker in the form of using a cash value life insurance policy. So you are your own bank. Okay, so you're able to borrow from it, just like how you go and you borrow from the bank. You're able to borrow from yourself. So
Yep.
think of it like this, Pastor. If you have $10,000 in the bank right now, in a year, you'll probably have $10,001, right?
Right. Yep.
How much would the bank charge you if you borrow $10,000?
Right.
All right. So
Right.
think of it. So just think of it like this: if you have 10,000 in the bank, essentially what you just did is you lent the bank $10,000. That's what you just did,
Absolutely.
right? Because the bank is going to take your money, they're going to invest your money, they're
They
going to
give
give
you
you a
the
dollar,
money.
and they're going
Right.
to keep the
There you
five,
go.
6%, right? So
There
you
you go.
just lent the bank. So you just lent the bank money. Now, granted, I'm not telling you don't have any money in the bank. I'm not saying that because you need money in the bank for transactions. I'm not saying that. Okay, you need money. You definitely got to pay your car note. You have to pay your mortgage. Payroll and so forth. So you got to have money in the bank. But what I'm saying to you is to have excessive amounts of money in the bank. that's actually doing nothing for you is wasting money when you could just take that money and have that money work for you and just multiply it. So that's why it's key when if you could use a cash value life insurance policy where it actually builds wealth for you and you're actually able to borrow from it. So this is where you become your own banker. And a lot of billion-dollar companies are actually was birthed out of this system. You think of Ray Kroc with McDonald's. How he bought out the McDonald brothers and paid key employees. J.C. Penney. In the Great Depression of 1929, he actually used money from his cash value life insurance policy to sustain his business. We have Walt Disney, to start an animated theme park. These are all the people that actually use the internet banking system that actually harvested all of their income into a cash value life insurance policy, and they actually was able to use that towards starting a venture.
Absolutely. So, somebody asked the question, how do you use that money to multiply?
So you could use the money. So are we talking about in a cash value life policy, or are you talking about in general? Like, how do you multiply?
I think they talking about in general and multiply.
Okay, so basically, so you multiply money by putting it in something that's going like stock market, real estate, or again a cash value life insurance policy. Multiplying, just all that means is your money is just you getting compound interest, and you're getting a higher return on your money. So rather than getting 0.0001 from the bank, you're getting about 3 to 4% return on your money. So that's basically just multiplying on your money. That's all it is. It's just you putting your money in a different saving mechanism or different saving vehicle where it's going to make more money for you. You want to get up every morning and take a look at your investments, and you made about $500-600 when you was sleeping. All right. The best thing in the world is if you could get up in the morning and look at your accounts and say, listen, I'm up $300, $400. You did absolutely nothing but sleep.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's how you multiply your money.
Yeah. And I think the best way to describe it is savings accounts are slow moving accounts compared to investment accounts, which move at a faster rate.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Than the normal what we were trained.
Work and save your money.
Save your money.
Work and save your money. That's what we was taught.
Right. In essence, you're still saving your money, but it's in a faster a tool that grows faster.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So which is great knowledge. Great knowledge.
So number 4.
Oh, please before you move on, please, if you have any questions, please make sure that you're interacting with us and throw the questions in the feed. I'll also on the screen, I'll put our number that you can text your questions privately if you have questions you want to text private. Well, go ahead.
All right. So number 4 is speculating. Okay. If you don't know about something, don't invest in it. All right. So many people, they want to get into Bitcoin, but if you don't understand how it works, stay away. I had to actually do some research before I started dabbling in on Bitcoin. So I feel comfortable now where the risk, I basically minimized my risk or hedged against my risk because I know a little bit about it. More than more than the average person. But risk comes from not knowing what you're doing. All right. And how do we minimize that risk? We get financial knowledge. We have these wealth conversations. We get a mentor. That's how you minimize your risk, because the more that you go into a certain vehicle to that you want to invest in, the more comfortable that you become.
Absolutely. So knowledge is always key.
Yeah. Listen, you should. And also, we need to actually start helping each other and holding each other accountable.
Yeah.
Okay? Because the thing is, we feel that if one of us make it, that we can't make it. We all can make it. Yeah. All right. So, for example, Pastor, if you made $1 million, everyone on this forum could make $1 million as well.
Absolutely.
All right. And that's what we have to, we have to get the mindset of leadership and learning how to pull the person behind us up to help them. Okay. Yeah. just because we have just because some of us came from a poor family, we don't have to have a poor family come from us.
Yeah, that's
All
good.
right. So
Or poor mentality.
exactly,
Yeah,
exactly, because it's room enough. I mean, we never seen a traffic jam in the sky. It's enough room for all of us,
yeah,
right? We all can make it. All right.
yeah.
But we just have to get into the mindset of helping each other, along the way.
And let me say this: it's always good. It's good to have people around you uh, who are going to push you.
Hmm.
That's one thing I do like about me and Derwin's relationship. That if he finds something that's going to benefit himself, he's automatically texting me. Or if I find something that's going to benefit me, I'm always going to text him. You have to, get yourself around like-minded
Hmm.
people who do not want to stay in the situation that they're in right now, but they see themselves in the future as something greater and grander than what they are now.
Hmm.
So that I think that's important also. And also when we're talking about knowledge is so easy these days. You got YouTube channels,
Hmm.
you got literature you can read. There's almost no excuse for you not to be aware of what you're trying to learn.
Yes,
So
absolutely.
wealth is knowledge.
Yes,
Wealth
yes, it
is
is.
knowledge. Ignorance is poor.
Mm-hmm.
But go ahead, bro.
Now, listen, man, that's great, and I'm definitely going to get into more of that into in my presentation. Exactly what you just mentioned, man. But that's key. All right, number 5. We buy things we don't need. So we buy things we don't need with money we don't have to impress people we don't like.
Say that again.
Huh?
Say
We
that again.
we buy things we don't need with money we don't have to impress people we don't like.
And that's something.
All right. We got to listen. Stop trying to keep up with the Joneses and keep up with yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Because when a financial crisis occurs, what happens is now you have to sell the things that you need. So we have to keep up with yourself. Listen, I don't care about who's doing better than me. All right. My key is okay. If you're doing better than me, I'm going to ask you, listen, how do I get there? I'm not going to do something to try to keep up with anyone.
Yeah.
Okay. My biggest competitor is me every morning that I get up. How can I be better than yesterday?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's my competition. Okay. So that's where we have to, cultivate the mindset of how do we become better each day and just look inside of ourselves and say we are our competition, nobody else.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true. I think a lot of people fall into this trap where, they end up
Hmm.
trying to be like other people. And so they're
Yeah.
trying to buy and putting themselves in the hole, getting out of their
Hmm.
budget and da 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 for what?
Yeah. Yeah. To try
For
to
what?
listen
For a temporary satisfaction.
correctly. Correct. Yep.
We want long term
Long
satisfaction.
term is like I said,
Long
lifetime, not lunchtime.
term.
Lifetime, not lunchtime.
Right. Where we at the point where we don't have to work.
That's right.
Make the money work for you.
Hmm. So, all right. So actually, so you was just talking about this just now. You don't want to follow the crowd. Okay. You want to. You may lose some family members. You may lose some friends. Okay. But here's the thing. When that happens, you have to know your why. Pastor, you was just talking about that you have to be around like-minded people. When you start being around like-minded people, you will start or you will start changing and people will fall off, like your old friends that don't have that same mentality, they're going to fall off because what happens is they project their fears on you,
Yeah.
and or they'll tell you, listen, no, nobody in the family ever did that. Why do you think that you could do that?
Yeah.
All right. So we have to get into the mindset of, listen, when you start on the road to acquiring wealth, you're going to lose some friends and family.
Yeah. And realize that it's okay.
Yeah,
Be
exactly.
be
Exactly.
comfortable understanding that I want to say it as God starts blessing you,
Mm-hmm.
financial realm, and manifesting the prayers that you have prayed and you start putting into action with what's being revealed to you,
Mm-hmm.
it's okay if people can't hang with you.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
need to
it's
let them lose. Don't let them stop what God is trying to do in your life.
absolutely, it's and that's the biggest thing is it's it's just understanding that people will fall off. They right now you got people will fall off. You may have people that's hanging on to you right now that, but right now, I mean, but it's going to shake them off. It's going to shake them off, and it's going to fall off because now you're going to be moving into a new realm of of basically a new world because and you're going to have to change your habits because if you think about it,
Yeah.
if you are in a new relationship, okay, and let's say every Friday you had happy hour and you're hanging out, with the guys, and you in a new relationship, you can't hang out like that anymore. All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Okay.
A
So
relationship for long.
exactly. So and one thing that and one thing I didn't mention or before is when you're going through this finding, to acquire wealth, you have to give something up.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So there's no such thing as something for nothing. So you
Yeah.
may have to give up your time. You have to become more dedicated. You
Yeah.
have to be more determined. So you have to give something up. So there's no, oh, I'm just going to do this and not give something up. You're going to have to give something up.
Yeah. And be willing to give it up,
Yeah.
at a cost. Everything comes with a sacrifice.
Yes. So you got to make that sacrifice daily.
Yeah, but these are what we're talking about are good sacrifices
Yes. Yeah.
that would,
Absolutely.
yeah, that would change your life and your kids' life and
Hmm.
family forever. I mean,
Hmm.
you find yourself in a happy place.
Very happy.
Very
Very
happy. And that's one thing too. If we talk about just the stresses, one of the number one stresses of people is finance.
happy. Hmm.
It's money. So if
Hmm.
you can eliminate that stress, you talking about a peaceful life,
Yeah.
a peaceful life, but it's at a sacrifice. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
listen, everything is a sacrifice, and the more you sacrifice, you just have to be committed, all right, and know again what your why is, and when once you understand what your why is, everything else, falls into place.
That's good. That's
All
real
right.
good.
So, my last rule for you today is big journeys begin with small steps.
Yep.
Every day, your goal is to become better each day. All right. You so your goal is to become 1%, but it's 1% better. So when I was going to business school, um, one of the one of the main functions on our last day of meeting was we had it's called a deep dive or millionaire mindset. Okay,
Mm.
and what that did was we we did a breakout session where it was three groups of 10. And for example, if we had one person that did all the writing and they would basically tell me what I need to do or give me ideas on how I should scale my business to get my business, further ahead to basically increase, revenue. So at the end of it, I had I had this novel of all the notes that was given to me by this round table of experts.
Mhm.
Okay. And but the key was I had an accountability coach
Yeah.
or buddy, and they called me weekly to make sure that I was on track.
Yeah.
Okay, so after you write your goals down, I want everyone to actually just get an accountability coach. It could be a family member, it could be a friend, someone that's on the same wavelength, someone that wants to cultivate riches and wealth, and you want that person to hold you accountable and you hold them accountable too. We have to pull each other up. Okay, that's the key.
Yeah.
Um,
It definitely
and
has to be somebody you trust, though.
yes, yeah,
Somebody
absolutely,
you know
yes.
who's gonna
But it
have you
def-
back and not jealous, and who's gonna, y'all can move together.
yes,
Yeah.
and listen, and that's key. And that's why like both of us, the way that we are, because listen, I want you to make it. We want
Yeah.
each other to make it.
Yeah.
All right,
I
and
did
that's
get
key.
mad at Derwin one day, y'all. I'm gonna tell y'all because he had made an investment and he didn't tell me. So I'm just throwing it out there to the public. But I forgave him. I
But
love my brother, but
listen,
I,
listen,
I had to go
and let
talk to his wife
and
to
let me listen.
I was mad at him.
Let me just correct it. Let me just correct that. Okay. Because I did tell him about the investment. I told him a little later because I needed to learn about it first before I told
He
him.
had already made money off of it. What kind of mess is
Listen,
that, man?
listen, man.
We
Listen,
could have learned
listen,
together, man.
listen. Stop it, man. Stop. That's not true, man. I reach back and I pull people up. Stop it, man. But but what I wanted to say also was with the list,
yeah,
um, it's real. It works. And I'll just give you a story on
yeah,
just the second portion of our story on
yeah,
that day on the train with Pastor LeRoy.
yeah, yeah.
We were going to a Knicks game. We get to Madison Square Garden, okay, and my rep said to meet, to stop at the membership kiosk. So we go over to the membership kiosk, and he said that I'm about to get an upgrade. So typically, when I get an upgrade, I'm thinking this: I'm just moving out a couple seats, okay, well, not a big deal. But this day, we went on a special elevator, right?
Yeah.
Right? Special elevator. We were standing in there, had a guy controlling or the elevator. We still didn't know where we were going, right?
Yeah.
We went downstairs to the basement, to
I
the
thought we
tunnel.
I thought we get set up. They would bring us to
Exactly.
we in
We
New
go
York.
downstairs to the tunnel, and we're in the tunnel, and this is where all the stars come in. We
Yeah.
had no clue. All right. But I'm saying that because that was one of my goals that I wrote down to be on a court side at a New York Knicks basketball game.
Yeah.
So I'm telling you, when you write it down and you read it, expect it because it's real.
Yeah.
Because Pastor Roy was there with me. I'm pretty sure a lot of people saw the pictures.
Yeah.
We didn't pay for those seats.
Yeah. Yeah.
Those
You're
those
right.
seats are like $10,000.
Yeah, you're right.
We didn't pay for those seats.
Yeah, you're
But
right.
I wrote it down. I got an upgrade, and that's what happened. So write it down and you just have to believe in it. I mean, you have to believe in it because it's real.
And let me throw this out there too. I think too is especially I'm gonna go back to paying tithes and
Uh-huh.
to honoring God first because what happens is a door of favor will open.
Mm-hmm.
Just like in this example that Derwin's talking about, I truly believe that, and I expect wherever I go, that there's going to be some kind of favor that's going to happen
Yes.
because I'm doing what God has told me to do, and that's the way we got to live, y'all. Is where we expect doors to be open because of what we're doing and the ministry that we're doing through even our finances, and that we're allowing God to even manifest some things in our lives. So everything might not come back in physical paper, but it might come back in you getting free things, God
Mm-hmm.
upgrading you in places like we were, God just putting you in rooms, where we were just around a lot of, we sitting near the famous people, we were just everybody wondering who we are.
Exactly.
But you never know, and you never
Yeah.
know how that door will introduce you to another door, to another door, to another door. It's favor, and
Yes.
so we just got to make sure that we're doing this thing God's way, God's way. But go ahead, bro.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Listen, man. Listen, you are so right. It's favor because we pray for it and then we're like, okay, well, if it happens, it happens. But you have to pray and you have to expect it.
Expected. Yeah,
And that's the key. Just like when you said when you go somewhere and expect it, I do
yeah,
the same thing.
yeah,
Before I fly, I say, Lord, thank you for the favor. Like, just thank you for the favor on my life. Everything that I do is thank you for the favor on my life. You know,
yeah,
me and Andrew, we were flying. This was a few months back. Like we was going to Michigan. We get there, and I said, Lord, thank you for the favor on our lives. We get there, and lady said, "Oh, you don't have to pay for your bags."
yeah, yeah.
Okay, right.
Thank
You
you.
know, just like that. So we just have to be, just be ready to expect it, and you know, because the blessing that's going to come with it, just do your part, the Lord will do his part, and everything else will work out. But there's no such thing as, just waiting for the Lord to do his part and you not doing your part. You have to do your part. You may have to get up earlier, you may have to study, you may have to take a finance class, you may have to
Yeah.
read more, whatever it is, you have to listen. You may even have to start working out. That's
Yeah.
part of it, because
Yeah.
health is the new wealth.
That's
Okay.
right.
All right.
And
So
you want to
you may,
be healthy enough in order to enjoy the wealth that God's
yes,
given you.
exactly. I mean, so these are some things that you may have to do, but you just got to make a sacrifice, and that's key. And one more thing that I just wanted to just leave you with today is money's a good servant, but a bad master.
Yeah.
Let money serve you. You don't serve it. It's like I
Yeah.
stated before. If you keep chasing money, the money's gonna keep on running. The more you chase, the more it's gonna run. But if you learn how to let that money work for you, the sky's the limit.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's good. That's good. So before we get off, Derwin, can you just run us, for those who might have joined us late, if you can run us just back through the 7 rules of money,
All
and
right. Give me one moment.
and if anybody has any questions before we end the broadcast, please shoot your questions over, put them in the chat so that we can try to answer them before it's over. I think this is a great conversation that we're having about living kingdom and the 7 rules of money. So go ahead,
Okay.
there.
All right. So the first rule is plant your tree. All right. The second is stop digging a hole. All right. If you're in any type of financial crisis, don't try to dig deeper and and go more into debt. Number three is the worst investment is to save cash. What we mean by that is you want your money to multiply for you rather than save the money in the bank, because you're losing money due to inflation when you have your money in the bank. You want your money to actually grow for you. You do want to have money in the bank for transactional purposes, but you want to make sure that the bulk of your money is working for you. Number four is stop speculating. Don't invest in something that you know nothing about, because that's where the risk comes in. The risk comes from not knowing what you're doing. Okay, so if you want to hedge against that risk, that's when you start reading. You want to do workshops, or consult with a financial advisor, or even get an accountability buddy, where someone that's actually want to learn, and someone that's on the same wavelength as you, that want to acquire wealth, could actually hold you accountable. So you don't want to speculate until you hedge against your losses or your risk. um don't buy things that you don't need. All right. You don't want to buy things that you don't need with money that you don't have to impress people you don't like. All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Okay. Number six is don't follow the crowd. Stay true to yourself. This is key because you want to remember your why. Some people will fall off because of, they may say, okay, oh, you think you're better than us now? Listen, you're not going to project your fears on me. So listen, I got to walk away, and I have to actually change my circle of people where, that you could learn from. If you are the smartest person in your group ain't going that far.
That's right.
All right. You need to be around people that's smarter than you, where you could learn from, that have you going home thinking, you sitting in the car driving like, oh my goodness, I never thought about that. All
Yeah.
right. That's the type of people that you want to be around. And the last one is big journeys begin with small steps. You want to do something every single day. If you want to read a page a day, 10 pages a week, you could do that. But just start doing something. Okay. All right. The first step is you may want to say, listen, I need to go to the gym. All right. Because I find when I go to the gym or when I work out, I have more energy to actually do what I need to do during the day. So what I do is I get up, I work out, and from there I get something to eat, and then I'll read or study. That's every single day. And I've been doing that for the last 10 years. All right. So once you get into that mindset of, working and putting your in just gathering that knowledge, the sky's the limit, because they could take anything from you, but they can't take knowledge from you. That's one thing.
That's great, man. I appreciate it. I just want to add a couple of things before we get off. And, going back to that scripture for a Bible verse in terms of Habakkuk
Two and
uh,
two.
2 and 2. Make sure that you're sticking to that, that you write the vision. And in the Message Bible, it says in big block letters, so you
Mhm.
see it as you run. That means that you can always look at it. You can always be reminded that God can always, reveal Himself. The other piece is make sure every single day that you're putting something down in your notes that you want to accomplish. There should not be a day that goes by where you're not accomplishing something that's going to benefit your future. So please make sure you're doing that. And then lastly, just make sure that you're setting yourself in the right environment around people like Derwin said, to make sure that you are accomplishing everything. You have some kind of accountability. I have my brother over here. I have other people in my life that, Lord, no, they keep me straight. They make me mad sometimes, but they keep
Hey, listen, man. It's all love, man. And one more thing that I
me
want to
straight.
add is, if you don't have an accountability coach, if you listen, you can stop me when you see me after church. You have any questions to ask, I have no problems answering or addressing any questions or concerns anyone have. I want you to make it. I want you to be successful, because what happens is, when you're successful, we all win.
Yeah.
All right. So if you see me, you see Pastor, give me a call. I have no problem helping or addressing any questions. If I don't know the answer, I'll get back to you, but I will find out for you.
Yeah. Also, somebody asked about what were the names of the books again?
Oh,
Um,
okay. Um,
Rich Dad, Poor Dad by
Rich
Robert.
Dad Poor Dad, The Blessed Life,
Yeah.
uh,
Rich Dad, Poor Dad is written by Robert
Robert
Kiyosaki,
Kiyosaki. Uh-huh.
and then also The Blessed Life
The
is
Blessed
written
Life,
by
that is written by
Robert Morris.
yes, Pastor
Yeah.
Robert Morris. Correct. Yes.
Yeah. So please make sure, if you want to read two books that are great books to get you started on this journey of really wealth,
Mm-hmm.
and I want to call it kingdom wealth, and living,
Yes.
out the plan that God wants us to live, in terms of having wealth that we can pass down from our children's children to our children's children's children.
Yeah,
So
it's generational wealth.
yeah,
Generational wealth. It's we just have to be mindful of everyone that's coming or behind us, that we have to make it a better road for them, because we may have been on a rocky road, but just because of that, everyone behind us shouldn't have to be take that rocky road as well. We got to make that road straight.
I agree. So I appreciate you, bro.
Appreciate
Thank
you
you
too
so
as well,
much
sir.
for coming on the show. I think this has been great. Thank you for everyone who has joined us on today. Please make sure, as always, that you're going down there, you're hitting that subscribe button, going to our YouTube channel. I've been journaling the Daniel 21 fast, and going to start putting out prayers and declarations and all kinds of nice stuff on there. So please start following. Love you. Appreciate we here every Thursday at 11 a.m. for about between 45 minutes to an hour. So join us each week for topics on finance, on love and relationships, on our spiritual growth and health and wellness. So look
Yes.
forward to seeing y'all next week. Love you. Appreciate it.
Hey,
Have a
thanks,
great
man.
day.
Take care. Thank
Thank
you
you,
so
bro.
much.
Appreciate
All
you.
right. Take care.